Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. My name is Oluyemi Adeosun. I'd like to say thank God it's Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we'll be looking at the topic, how human resources and learning and development can deliver returns on investments and returns on expectations on every training investment. For the first time, I'm excited, delighted, elated to have to speak to us directly, specifically on this platform, Sandra Nacho, and I will read her profile, just the abridged version of her profile. Please pay attention and listen attentively. Sandra serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Embran Consulting Limited, a human capital development organization specializing in training transfer effectiveness. Sandra is a training transfer effectiveness advocate. She is Nigeria's first certified transfer designer. She is Africa's transfer enabler for the Institute of Transfer Effectiveness. She is passionate about empowering businesses to unlock productivity and profitability by investing in their most valuable assets, which is their people. At Embran Consulting, she and the team focus on delivering transformational results through training, coaching, mentoring initiatives, and HR consultancy services, driving measurable return on investment and return on expectations for clients. She has over 18 years of experience in the learning and development space, and she has designed and implemented impactful training programs that have reached over 15,000 participants and counting. Her experience and expertise spans training in leadership, human resource management, coaching, and mentoring. She has also coached executive and teams, moderated strategic sessions, and consulting for business of all sizes, including the public sector. She holds multiple certifications, specifically including Certified IFC Global Master Trainer, Certified Transfer Designer, Transfer Enabler for Africa for the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness, Certified IFC LPI TPMA Assessor, Kirkpatrick Certified Professional Bronze Level, Certified Transformational Coach, Professional Certified Group and Team Coach, and she's a signatory to the GLC Principles for Learning. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm excited, elated, delighted to bring the delectable Sandra Nacho forward as she'll be facilitating for us this evening on the topic from order takers to strategic partners, how HR L&D can deliver ROI, ROE on every training investment. Over to you, my sister. Thank you for obliging us your presence and experience.
Thank you so much, Yemi. I was like, you should cut this introduction now. This introduction is too much. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be with you, HR Mentorship. Thank you for having me. And thank you, my brother, Dr. Yemi. I call him the prof. Thank you for inviting me to your platform, and it's a pleasure being here. And let me just go straight to what we have today. Let me go straight to what we have today. So I will say, welcome. So glad you are here. Even as you're welcoming me, I'm also welcoming you. And just a bit, Yemi has already read a lot about myself. The only thing I want to tell you is I'm an ex-banker. I started my banking career in the Citizen International Bank in 1999. I'm a mother of 5 children, 3 lovely boys and 2 young girls. And I've been a teacher and trainer for the past 26 years, both formally and informally. These are the certifications I'm going to get. The first one, I'm getting it this year during my conference. I'm hosting a conference this year. After that, next year, I'm getting this one. I wrote a quote and I said, the moment you stop learning, you start dying. With all those things Yemi has read, I've not stopped learning. I am learning and learning and learning and improving myself and becoming better. And so that's why I wanted to bring that out. So let's move ahead. Okay, this is just like a summary of what I do. And I just want to add the last one again. I'm a curator of what we call the Training Transfer Effectiveness Operating System. It's an operating system made up of 3 things, 2 models and a framework. And that is what I use with clients. And that's what I'll be sharing with you. For the past 3 decades, I've worked with various organizations. And I'm sure why Yemi read out everything he read was to you to understand that someone of authority, a subject matter expert, is speaking to you. So I'm not a theoretical person. I'm a practical person. The case study I'm going to be using to speak to you today is what I've done with clients. Everything I do, I say, is what I've done with clients. So I practice what I preach, right? I practice what I say. So everything I do is practical. And the last thing is I am a pioneer of what we call the TTE movement across Africa. It's called the Training Transfer Effectiveness Movement across Africa. When I come to that, we'll talk about that. Now let's go to what is our objectives for this session, for this webinar today. What are our objectives? What do we want to cover today? At the end of this session, you will be able to do the following. 1, you will be able to recognize the difference between being an order taker and being a strategic partner. Do not forget that we're talking about moving HR and L&D from order takers to strategic partners in order for you to be able to show your business, the organization, ROI and ROE for every training investment. Do you think it's possible? Let me even ask that question. So now see, my webinar is, I know webinar because it's not a long time, it's not live learning. It could, there may not be a lot of interactions. Yes, I'm aware of that because I teach that, right? However, let us try. I try in my webinar to make it a bit interactive, even though I know it may not be so much interactive because that's the format webinars are. Because by the time you start interacting so much, you won't finish what you want to finish. Let's start by, let me put it in, start putting in chat. So let's make use of the chat box a whole lot. Do you think HR, if you're HR, you're L&D, do you think you can show ROI and ROE for every of your training investments? Think about it before you answer. Either I say yes, no, I don't know, I'm not too sure, any of that. So think about it before you put that. The second thing I want you to be able to take away from this webinar is, at the end of this webinar, you should be able to craft a bold professional message. And when I say professional, what I mean, I'm going to define what professional means. It means a message you're going to send out, either from next week, depending on how bold you are, or from next 2 weeks. You will send out official message. So professional means official message to reposition yourself to the line managers, to the people you work with in your organization, to your stakeholders, letting them know, in quotes, that you're no more an order taker, that things have changed. You're working towards being a strategic partner to help them achieve their objectives as a department. The third thing I want you to be able to do is, you'll be able to take the first step in shifting your influence from transactional training to strategic impact. Gone are those days. No more just training for training. Happy shirts, ticking the box. No. Training should have an impact, a strategic impact. And last but not the least, you should be able to decide on your next line of action. What will you start doing, stop doing, continue doing? All my webinars are practical. You will apply it. You will say you cannot come here and sit down for 1 hour, 30 minutes and nothing changes. You don't go back doing something different. You've wasted your time. You've wasted your Miss time, Prof's time. You've also wasted my time for me coming here. You've wasted all our time. So while we are having this webinar, and I see that he keeps having webinars all the time, what has changed for you? Have you applied everything you've been learning? Have you become a different person? It doesn't make sense coming here all the time when you're not ready to apply it. So you're going to tell me what's your next line of action? And how are we going to achieve this? Our roadmap. What will be our roadmap? This is our roadmap. We're going to be having polls, and I'm not going to set it up. It will be polls on the chat box because of time, so we can utilize our time well. We're going to be having Q&A, questions and answers, and you're going to be telling me your next line of action. Good. I see things on the chat box. Don't worry, I'll be reading my chat box. I'll be reading the chat. Thank you so much. Stella says you're welcome, Sandra. Thank you. Unya said power. Yes. Unya, I hope you'll be the next one to have that more powerful profile than myself. In all my webinars, I usually write this. Difficult roads leads to beautiful destination. Why do you you agree with this? Let me say, just briefly. Anybody, do you want to type into chat, or briefly, if Prof can unmute your allow you to unmute your microphone, you can speak, just briefly. What do you think about this? Difficult roads lead to beautiful destination. What do you think about this? Is there anybody? What do you think? If there's nobody, it's fine, I'll continue. Okay, Prof says, please raise your hand to speak. Okay, yeah. Is there anybody? Ade says, nothing good comes easy. Comfort says, not all the time. Okay, let's keep it coming. Sometimes it does. Ola Kumi, oh, I got that right. I said 100%. Yeah. Okay, great. I think, Prof, I already love these people in this your mentorship group. I love them. And why did I say that? They are interactive. They are already talking and doing something. The webinars I'll keep propping them, asking them, talk. They will not talk. Your people are not wasting time. They're talking. So I give you kudos for that. Thank you. So Majebo says it does. Adewumi says gold will need to pass through fire before it can shine. Yeah. Stella says I agree, because what we fear to do most leads to beautiful places. Thank you so much. Yes. Difficult. So keep it coming. I won't be able to read everything. Just keep it coming. And so I totally buy to this. Why? See me, I've been working since morning. And from work, I entered this webinar, right? And because I'm very passionate about what I do, and that's why I decided to be here. And I know that for me to get the impact and create the impact I need, it may not be easy sometimes. Sometimes I work 48 hours without sleeping. Yes. Not without sleeping, not blinking my eyes, 48 hours at a stretch. I know what I'm aiming at. I know what I want. And if you check my trajectory, it has been me putting in everything I need to put in. The road might be tough. Let me give you a real example. These models and framework I designed took me 14 years. I was telling him that it took me 14 years to finally come out with what I'm using with my clients. I did not say 14 days, 14 minutes, 14 seconds, 14 months, 14 weeks. I said 14 years. So it took, however, have I gotten what I want? Yes. Are my clients blown away using it? Yes. Is Africa blown away using it? Yes. So I want to congratulate each and every one of you on this webinar, because some of you are just coming back from work. Thank God it's Friday. You should be maybe in the club or going for parties or something, or going for night vigil for those, or going to pray or something. However, you said, I want to learn. And because you want to learn, you decided to be here. So kudos. I give you kudos for that. And your whatever it is you want to get out of this webinar, you will get it and more. And every other webinar, you create our time to attend. Okay, so let's move ahead. So let's know those in the room. Who is in the room? Can you just type in, we will see your name. Just tell me your role in your organization. That's fine by me. Who is in the room? Your role will let me know if you're HR, you're L&D. Who is in the room? Just type in your role. Yeah. Senior HR executive on here. Thank you so much. Human resource journalist. Thank you, iPhone. HR generalist, Adewumi. Thank you. Who is in the room? HR admin executive, Thelma. Thank you, Thelma. Okay. So HR and admin, HR BP, great. Now let me ask. I'm seeing HR. Are you in charge of your L&D? Okay, I see someone different. Comfort says performance management specialist. So are you in charge of the L&D in your organization? Are you in charge of the L&D in your organization, or do you have somebody separate that does L&D? Just let me know that. Say yes or no. Adamu, head of admin and HR, thank you. Onye says no. You're not in charge of the L&D. iPhone says yes. Comfort says no. Benga says no. Starting my career in HR, Adamu says yes. Okay, great. Now, even if you're not in charge of the L&D in your organization, even if you're not in charge of training in your organization, I'm sure whatever you will gain, you will learn today. You will position yourself. So when your L&D is giving you garbage in, garbage out, giving you gibberish, giving you nonsense, you will speak from a place of authority and tell the person, no, this one is not it at all. Oh. It's not it at all. Right? Great. So let's move ahead. Now, I want to ask, what is your why? Why did you join this webinar? Why did you leave everything you should be doing and join this webinar? Why? What's your why? Why did you join this webinar? Why did you join this webinar? Or Prof said, you have to come. You decided to come. Or someone said, invited you. You decided to come. Why did you join the webinar? Why would you leave what you're supposed to do to join the webinar? To gather updated knowledge about L&D. Benga, thank you. Okay. Emmanuel, to learn more about L&D. Thank you. Comfort, to know why L&D is becoming a big deal. Okay. To know why L&D is becoming a big deal, right? Great. Honestly, I received we are live prompt on WhatsApp, and I'm happy I am here, though. I love you, Onyinye, for being vulnerable and being truthful. Aku says, to gather more knowledge about L&D. iPhone says, to have a deeper knowledge about L&D. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. Keep it coming, right? Keep it coming. You will not be denied the reason why you are here. So ensure you have your notepad and your biro to write questions. I like the part that, I think it was not Onyinye, maybe Comfort, I can't remember, that says, she wants to know, why is L&D now becoming, now I need to read it, let me check it again. Why is L&D now becoming, why are we now becoming, to know why, it's Comfort. To know why L&D is becoming a big deal now. Comfort, we are becoming a big deal. Oh. It's very important. I will tell you why we are becoming a big deal. You will hear why today. Okay, thank you, everyone. Keep it coming. Now, let me tell you my why. Why did I accept to come for this webinar? I didn't even just accept. I told Prof, I said, Prof, I would like to come to your webinar. I would like to come and speak. I told him I would like to come and speak. And Prof said, okay, Oracle, choose. He gave me various dates and I chose today. I'm going to briefly, I'm also checking the time to ensure, I know we have from 7:30 to 9 p.m. So I'm going to be checking my time with the webinar, then the Q&A to ensure that I don't overstay my time. Let me give you a bit of my story. I like what Sarah says. Sarah says, to develop myself because I am passionate about L&D. Yeah, I've seen someone that is that is in L&D, that is passionate about L&D. I am very passionate about L&D. Okay, so let me tell you my story. This is my story. Very briefly, I started my banking career, right, in the banking sector. I started in 1999 with Citizens International Bank. For those that are of our age, even though you're not of our age, maybe you might know Citizens International Bank. I was working on Broad Street, right? And I was a sales and marketing. And from there, so I'm going to cut the story short. It's a long story. From there, I went to ExxonMobil. From ExxonMobil, I went back to the bank again. Then was Oceanic Bank. I was the head of operation. Before Oceanic Bank, I was in the marketing again, sales and marketing, Daleko branch. For those that know Daleko, in Munshi, I was in Daleko branch. Then we did a course. The bank did a course, a bank-wide course. I came up with distinction. And for those that came out with a distinction, they asked us, where do you want to be? Which department in the whole bank do you want to go to? Guess what? Then treasury was the high flyer. We look at people working in treasury because you cannot enter the treasury building. You have to call. They need to say they have asked to see you before you come. Unlike other branches, anybody can just enter. Even those you don't want to see, they will just enter to come to look for you. They will enter through the banking and they say, I'm looking for Sandra. So Sandra is upstairs, because the sales and marketing people were always upstairs. Sandra is upstairs. And person will just bump onto me. Even people I don't want to see. In treasury, it is not like that. You have to be called. And the ladies wear beautiful suits with their high heel. Everywhere is cold and they're working. I said, in short, I said, come it. I want to be in treasury. So I wrote to HR and told HR that I want to be in treasury. Guess what they said to me? HR said that treasury has only one space and the ED has its slot and it has been given to the ED. However, before then, HR reached out to me, our academy, Oceanic Leadership Academy, Ola, the head of the academy reached out to me and said, we want you to come. We saw you made a distinction. Come and join us. Me, I bullshitted them. That's HR now, learning. I said, no, I want to go to treasury. But I didn't respond to that. I just said they're on their own. I want to go to treasury. Then when treasury bullshitted me and turned me down, almost I ran back. I replied the email, and that was how I started my banking, my career in HR per se. That's where I started in HR. So I went to HR. I was in Oceanic Leadership Academy. I was made the head of operations units in the in the Oceanic Leadership Academy. Fast forward, Oceanic had issues. I started and it had issues and I was affected. I won't forget that day, December 18, 2009. I came to the work. I tried to log in. We used Finacle then. I tried to log in. If you try to log in and you're logged out, just know that you've been asked to exit from the bank. I tried to log in into Finacle. I could not. I knew that my career in the banking sector with Oceanic Bank ended. However, I was kind of prepared for it. Prepared in the sense that I'm a Christian and I give no apologies to say I'm a Christian and a child of God. And so I'd already prepared myself. God, if you want me to continue to be here, it will not affect me. If you don't want me, that's fine. And so when it happened, my colleagues were crying and they were looking at me. Ma, you're not crying. Why are you not crying? I said, no, why am I crying? I'm ready for it. Fast forward, I started 2010. I I can see some Yorubas meaning I don't. Prof, help me to tell me the meaning. Say Otilo, Ogami, Otilo. Otilo is to go, right? Yeah, that's what life. So when life gives you lemons, what do you use it to do? So I've learned that when life gives me lemons, I turn it into lemon juice. Lemon is bitter. You have a choice. So whenever life throws lemon to me, I just take it and I turn it into lemon juice. That's what I do. It's gone. Okay, Sarah says it's gone. Okay. So that was what happened. And I started the company I work with now, M. Brand Consulting, met people, we came together, we started the company in 2010. And from there, I started building, trying to find out. And that, don't forget that I was in the training, Oceanic Leadership Academy. We are in charge of training the whole bank, over 8,000 staff. And I was the head of operations there. So we're in charge of it. So I'd already started training, right? Interesting. I wasn't training specifically, right? However, I was in charge of all those that were training. And before then, FITC were coming. These were our clients, various people were our clients. I'm out now. What do? I started reaching out to them to give me jobs, to bring me in. I started training. And that was when I started training. I started discovering why is it that everybody keeps saying training is a waste of time, waste of money. They did not see return. That is when my interest picked up. I said, why? Why will we waste millions in training and yet no returns? When people want to cut budget, they go to training budget. I said, why? I kept researching. I kept asking, working with people. There's somebody that I will never forget. Adejoke Ali. She's a GM of HR and admin now in Feedson. She's somebody that I was always reaching out to. What's happening? How did you do it? So this is my story. And so it took me, I continued, I failed, I rose, I continued, failed, rose. I went to the 25 banks in Nigeria. They turned me down. No, I don't know if there's any Yoruba statement for this one. They turned me down, and I didn't stop. I continued refining my models. I continued refining my frameworks until I got what I'm using. And that's why it's after 14 years, I got what I'm using. And so that is a bit of my story. And that is why I'm passionate about what I'm doing now. I've been going around Africa. I have a 6-year mandate from now to 2030 to go around Africa to help organizations. And that's why I'm here with you. And that's why I said you must take out something today. You must take out something after this webinar. And after today, every webinar Prof organizes, ensure that whatever you learn, you go back and apply it. That is what will help me. I'm a self-taught person. Nobody taught me everything I knew. I taught myself. I kept failing. I rose people, met people, worked with people. You don't understand. I was voracious for knowledge. Don't ever, always apply. I'm high on application. So that's a bit of my story, and that's why I'm here with you. So feel free to ask me any question when it comes to ROI and ROE. Know that you're in good hands, and I'll answer it for you. Okay, so let's move ahead. That's my story. So I'm going to start today's webinar with a mindset shift. From being an order taker to a strategic partner. See, HR, even though you say you're not doing L&D, you're not doing training, you will learn something from this. If in which area of HR are you in operations, HR operations? All those things you're doing, what are it? Can you quantify the value of what you're doing? All the onboarding you do, can you show the returns for the onboarding? Hope you know you spend money on the onboarding you do. Can you show the returns? So as I'm talking to training, I want you to put what you're doing into what I'm saying. And now start looking at how can I show returns in this thing I'm doing? Are you doing recruitment? What's the returns in your recruitment? The money you spent in the recruitment, what's the returns? So you can apply whatever I'm teaching in whatever aspect of HR you're doing, even though I came here to talk about training, being not just order takers, but becoming strategic partners. Don't just swallow everything anybody gives you. So I'm here to make you have a mindset shift from being an order taker to a strategic partner. It's a call to be courageous. It's a call to be courageous, to be ready to say yes, to be ready to say no to what you're not supposed to say yes to. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the boldness to challenge the status quo and step into a bigger role. Are you ready to challenge the status quo of where you are? So for HR and L&D, that means moving from being order takers to strategic partners. People who deliver. ROI means return on investment and return on expectation on every training investment. How many of you have heard of ROE? Just type into chat. I know I've been seeing a lot of chat. Don't worry, when it's time, I'm going to read it. Let me ask, how many of you know what return on expectation is? How many of you know what return on expectation is? How many? Let me see. Is that yes? No. No, I don't. Yes, I know. I know a lot of you know what ROI is, return on investment. But how many know what return on expectation is? Okay, let me move ahead. For me not to say anything typing, I don't. Thank you so much. Onyi, I'm proud of you. Thank you for being courageous to respond to that. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Comfort. Thank you so much. I don't. No, I don't. Great. Thank you. So keep it coming. Thank you, Adewoman. So I know that 95% of HR and L&D do not know what return on expectation is. Why? From the experience I have gone round. Last month, I was in Rwanda. In May, I was in Ghana. In June, we had a breakfast meeting in Lagos. That was where Prof came for the breakfast meeting. He attended. I was privileged to get him and he had time to come. Next month, I'm in Kenya. Throughout 2016, I'm in South Africa, Tanzania, the Seychelles. So I have a plan to go to the 54 African countries. So I think it's from shareholders investment. Okay, no, not from shareholders investment. I'll explain it briefly. So it's called return on expectation. I'll explain it briefly what it means. Okay, so let's go ahead. You cannot drive return on investment and return on expectation if you're sitting quietly waiting for instructions. Now, this is the point. Let me explain what ROI is and ROE is. Of course, you all know what ROI is. It's financial terms. You want to calculate returns on training. Head of KPI, but not ROE, key performance expectation. Okay, that's fine. Omo, that's fine. So ROI is financial. It's finding out what you spent on training, deducting it from what you got out of training. If it is more than, of course, you put in percentage, you get, say, yes, your ROE was positive. If it is less than, that means you don't even have ROI. You don't even have ROI. You don't have any returns on investment. Can you imagine that you spent 1 million and you made 500,000 out of 1 million? What is that? That's a negative balance. But imagine you spent 1 million in training and you made 1.5 million. You're able to attribute it and made 1.5 million. That's what? Positive. So ROI is more financial terms. Now, what is ROE? ROE, return on expectation. It is more of, it's not financial. It is those expectations of your stakeholders, those expectations of management. Now, let me give a big example. When your management, maybe the CEO or your MD, or even the head of sales says, HR, I want our people to be vibrant. I want them to be happy. I want them to sell consultatively. What is the meaning of that? Can you measure that thing he just said? He tells you, HR, I want our people to be happy. Can you measure people that are happy? What does that mean? Now, what you should do as HR is you need to quantify that. I want them to be happy. What does that mean? Now, let me give you a clear example. Early this year, a lady that knows me, she was working in one of the organizations. I won't name them. She's now working in government sector. I won't name it too. She reached out to me because she knows me. She knows the quality of work we do and says she wants us to come and train her senior management on communication. I said, okay. I said, what exactly about communication? She said, now that they're not communicating well with so the management wants them to communicate well. I said, what do you mean by communicating well? This woman got angry. Said, Madam Sandra, I mean that they are not communicating well now. We need them to communicate well. I said, hold on. You don't need to raise your voice or get angry. I will not be able to measure what communicating well is. What do you mean? Now, I now started breaking down. I spent 45 minutes on the call with her. I started breaking down to her. And I'm just summarizing it. At the end, let me tell you, after our 45 minutes discussion, after getting angry, she said, thank you so much, Madam Sandra. Now, let me tell you what was the problem. From the questions I was asking, as well as HR and L&D, you must be performance consultants. You must ask performance questions. Stop talking HR and L&D terms. Talk as a strategic person. Talk in business language. If you keep speaking as HR in HR language, HR jargon, L&D jargon, you will never have a seat at the table. Even if you by mistakenly get a seat at the table, they will break that seat before you sit down. They will remove it from you and you will fall down. So you need to learn to speak in business terms. You need to learn to speak business language. Stop speaking HR language. Stop speaking L&D language, jargon. I call them jargon. You want to be a strategic partner, you must speak the business language. You must understand what are the objectives. This year, what does our business want to achieve? What is our business objectives? I didn't come to teach about objectives. Let me continue because of time again. She now said, after the discussion I had with her, I now found that, guess what? What she wanted was, we found out that the senior managers, when CEOs, that executive management, sends an information to them, it takes them long to send that information back to their direct reports. And so before the information gets back to executive management, decisions they can make, they don't make it fast. And so they were losing money. So I now asked her, so what do you want? So do you want them to be able to send this info? Say, yes, that's it. That she wants them to, immediately they get information. They get things from executive management. These senior managers, they waste so much time. They should send it directly to their direct report. So that the direct reports will work on it and management will be able to get it on time, not for them to make informed decision. I said, what do you mean by get it? They should do it quickly. What is quickly? We entered another wahala again. I said, no, but you cannot measure quickly. How long do you want them to give out the information? Within 24 hours, within 48 hours? Immediately I said that, I said, okay, yes. There's somewhere in our policy that says that when information is sent, that it should be it should be given back within 48 hours. Can you see? If I didn't ask her all these deep questions, all these things that came out won't have come out. I would have gone to get beautiful training on communication, and again train. After that, the problem will still be there because that the problem had not gone to the root. So I am solving the symptoms. I am not solving the root problem. So meaning that's why I told her. So she now said, okay, let me wrap up what we now said. She now agreed. Said yes. So within 48 hours, she expects the senior managers to deliver every information the management gives them. Within 48 hours, the line manager should get it. I said, beautiful. I said, so now do you understand why I was asking her? She said, no, that she's very sorry, that thank you so much. She said, okay, that we will come and do this. I said, we are not going to come and do it. She was shocked. Said, why? I said, because you're not ready for returns. You're not ready for returns. We are not going to do it. I said, if you want, I will give you people, names that would help you and they will deliver very well. She said, but it's you we want. I said, you don't want me. You don't want what I will give you, so I cannot come for that training. We will not do it. I gave her names. I gave her 3 companies. I said, go and meet them. They will use them. And one of them came back to me and was thanking me that so much that she did the training for them. The company did the training and they paid them very well. I said, not a problem. I have decided what I want. Any organization that doesn't want to see return on investment and return on expectation, I am not touching you. I don't want your money. Small child used to grow now. A small child, you cannot continue to drink milk. I've paid my dues. I am at the level whereby if you do not want impact, you don't want to see impact, don't come to me. I don't need your money. I know it might sound as an extremist view, not a problem, but that is where I've decided to play. I want to be an extremist. By the time people start seeing, they will know that we cannot keep wasting money. Organizations are wasting money on recruitment, on onboarding, on training, wasting resources, no more. Maybe because I'm not an entrepreneur, I know what it is. I teach in the Lagos Business School. I teach on leadership. And in one of the classes, it's called OMP, Owner Managers Program. Very expensive. One of the CEOs that was there, I was teaching them organizational learning. He said, madam, all this thing you're talking, just leave it. I've decided the new policy I did this year is that anybody I send on training, I will take it from the salary. My mouth was open. He said, madam, close your mouth or fly will enter. I'm like, but I understood. Do you know why I understood? Because I am a CEO. I employ people. Sometimes we may not make any business in a month, but I must pay salary. Sometimes in a month, I will not make any business, but I must pay salary. Staff will not hear that there was nothing came in, you cannot pay salary. No, you have to pay salary. So I understood his pain, but that was extreme to me because why? I know this, I teach this. I knew where the problem is. He is one of the problem. The HR is also another problem because the HR doesn't know her duty. The L&D doesn't know his or her duty. They don't know it. And that's why that problem is there. Because if they know their duty and the CEO knows his duty, they will correct it to not be there. And so return on expectation is being able to those expectations of management, quantifying it into measurable terms and seeing the value, the impact. That's what return on expectation is. So when management say, we want everybody to be happy. No, that's not what management is saying. You need to find out what does happy mean. Then now define that happy into measurable terms so that you'll be able to go to the root and measure it. And you'll see that people will be happy. But happy is not what you're measuring. Because there are things that are making people happy and there are things that are making people unhappy. So you need to find out what is that thing that is making people happy and unhappy to be able to address it. And when you address it, that thing management is saying, I want people to be happy. Management will see it. And so that is what really ROE is. Now let me move forward. I know there are a lot of chats on things on the chat box. Please permit me. I'll read our chat. Or let me read it now. So I'm not still saying I'll read it. Let me see. Are there messages for me? Oh, Emmanuel said my able sister Adejoke Ali of it saying, yes, she's a wonderful woman. Yes, she is. Okay, I can relate to Shenik that year worked in Ogudu branch. Okay, this is our story. Okay. What else? Kindly share the flyer and Zoom link. Oh, okay. Okay, fine. Okay, great. So there are no questions or anything I needed to address. I needed to check that now. So you cannot drive return on investment, return on inspection if you're sitting quietly waiting for instructions. HR, L&D, you must be proactive. If you don't know what the business is trying to achieve, your training will miss the mark. A lot of HR and L&D, they don't know what. See, I used to hit them. I say the truth. I'm not mincing words for anybody. It's either you want, and those that know the value, they still call me back. And those that want to grow, they are happy to hear the truth I'm giving them. So you must be able to clarify what are the business objectives. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead and see what next. Strategic partners challenge assumptions. They ask the right questions and they lead with purpose. They ask the right questions and they lead with purpose. Now let's see, what do we mean by order takers and strategic partners? What does it mean? What does it mean? At least with that, it will give you an idea to know where you are. If you're an order taker or a strategic partner. So you tell me where you are. As I'm talking about it, just be typing into chat to tell me where you are, who you are. Now, an order taker deliver programs on demand. What does that mean? A director comes and says, maybe head of sales comes and says, we want to train our people on consultative selling. That please help us to look for a very good training company that will do that. Immediately you start shopping for training company that will do it. You're an order taker. You're an order taker. They tell you, we want to train people on leadership. Immediately you start looking for let them go to LBS, or let them go to ESA Business School, or let them go to Harvard LSE. You're an order taker. Now let me be a friend of mine, this is a GM in HR, reached out to me. And I reached out to him, we're gisting, and I told me that his MD asked him recently that boy, those people where we send go Harvard, we sent to Harvard, how far was the returns? To go to Harvard for Harvard Business School, you should pay nothing. I think that program was about for something $1,000, and they sent, I think, about five executives. How much is that? Calculate. Let's mark it at $40,000 times 5. That is how much? $200,000 times it by 1,560 naira. That is the exchange rate now. So one should timestamp, put it on the chart for us. The guy did not know what to say. And so when I was talking to him about return on expectation, return on investment, I said, almost Sandra, this thing, come and do it for us. He said, come and do it for us in our organization. That he said he doesn't, that he could not answer the MD because he did not know what to say. So a lot of people don't know this. So you are an order taker. I hope that today you will change. Who is a strategic partner? A strategic partner is one that asks, is training really the solution? Oh, thank you so much. Nancy said over 300 million in naira. Oh, Nancy, that is it. Oh, are you seeing? So they just wasted 300 million naira in this hard time that we are looking for money, and they went to Harvard and no return. No return, nothing. Can you imagine? No more. With me, it can't happen again. So a strategic partner asks, is training really the solution, or do we need something else? Because sometimes training is not the solution. But I hear people, anytime there's a performance gap, or in their appraiser, they say, send them on training, send them on training, this issue, send them on training, this problem. It's just like you go to a doctor now, and when immediately you get to the doctor, you tell the doctor you're having headache. Immediately the doctor said, nurse, can't give him injection, give him antibiotic injection. I beg, someone can unmute their microphone. Answer me, what will you say? What will you say? You can unmute your microphone. Raise up your hand so that prof will call you. Unmute your microphone. You went to the hospital. Are you hearing me? You told doctor you're having headache. The doctor called nurse and told nurse to go and give you antibiotic. Antibiotic injection. I beg, what will happen? Mary said, won't you run tests? No, we are not running any tests. Do you used to run tests before you send people on training? We are not running any tests. You will go for antibiotics injection. They will go and give you that injection. If you run away from the hospital, hey, don't run, no, you will stay there. Are you in the right hospital? But that is what HR is doing. That is what L&D is doing. You have a performance issue, straight away, you say, it is training. Send them on training. No diagnosis. You don't even know if the problem is training or not. You just come up with a solution. Anytime you want to come up, remember what I told you today, that you went to the hospital. You told doctor, I'm having headache. I will ask if he's a native doctor. And you told doctor, I'm having headache. And doctor said, nurse, come and give him antibiotics injection. Always remember that. Let it be in your brain. With that, it will make you to change. Let's look at again who an order taker is. An order taker avoids conflicts. Is my boss. I don't want to say anything. Is my boss. I don't want to say anything. I want to avoid anything. I see something on the chat. Must carry, and I think that I love that. That's why I want to read it out. He said, Omoba said, must carry out needs assessments. I will need to ask you to unmute your microphone and tell me what you mean by that. Because I did a webinar telling people the difference between training needs analysis, TNA, ONA, organizational needs analysis, gap analysis, and MVP, needs validation process model, which is what I'm going to teach you people, show you people today. So let's continue. Wow, time is going. Avoids conflict, but this is what a strategic partner does. Courageously speaks the truth and says, sir, I want us to find out this problem through the questions he or she is asking. Is this really a training issue? It may not be a training issue. Can we have that conversation? But some, because it's your boss, you don't want to say anything. It's higher than you. Maybe it's the ED. See, depending on how you put your question and how you put around your communication, no matter who it is, you can talk to anybody. When I was in the bank, I used to go and meet Cecilia Ebru. I speak to her. My boss, when I was also in the banking sector, when I came into the OLA, there was a process they were using. I said, this process is not working. That I saw the gaps. I went to meet him, and this is what they've been using. You know, some people say, but they will say that this is what they've been using. Who am I? I have come. I want to change. Where am I coming from? Because I was new. But I knew that there was a gap. This was not working. So I wrote out everything. The one I developed a process. The one they had before, I put it side by side, and I was able to justify. And I wasn't coming to say, I know everything. I was just saying, sir, can you look at this way? So you need to also know how you speak to seniors, executives, management, people that are your bosses. So they don't think that you're trying to tell them you know better than them. Even if you know, at that time I knew better than my boss. But I will not rub it on his face that I know better than him. No. I said, sir, I'm just proposing something. And I went to you and said, sir, I'm proposing this process, this. So this one proposal, this and this. He now looked at me. He said, this is what we've been using since. I said, yes, sir, I know, sir. I met it when I came. But sir, this. And I said, will it work? I said, yes, sir. He said, if it doesn't work, I will hold you responsible. I said, no problem. I said, no problem, sir. Yes, sir. Until I left Oceanic Bank, that was the process they were using. And I'm proud to beat my chest and say, Oceanic Leadership Academy was using the process I developed even until I left. Are you ready to speak the truth? To say what you should say? Provides training when told. They tell you training. Give us sales training. You go and give. Give us leadership training, delegation training, time management training. The problem is not time management. You're giving time management training. This person is having issues in her home, in her marriage. Her husband maybe is cheating on her, and because of that, she's coming late. She's not putting her head in her work, and you say it's time management. She doesn't know how to manage her time. Who told you that is it? Who says that? Have you dug deeper to know really what the problem is? If I stay here, if I continue to talk this thing, we enter 2 hours. I found out that your prof keeps to time. He told me, Sandra, 7:30, we are starting. I'm sure he's going to tell me, Sandra, 9 p.m. we are stopping. So let me be faster. Rather, a strategic partner co-creates solution. You work with everyone. You work with the training sponsors, those that are asking for the training. You work with the trainees, those that will attend the training. There's something I call the ecosystem, the training transfer effectiveness ecosystem. Now, I came to understand something. We are Africans, we are Nigerians, right? Now, in Igbo land, it's said, Owu of one year na-azụ ụmụazị. I will translate it. He said, it's not one person. Yeah, you can take more time, ma. Today is extra special, ma. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, Prof. I appreciate you, Prof. Thank you. Okay, I will translate it. It says, it means that it's not one person that trains up a child. And I'm sure you have it in Yoruba too, because I think it's an African adage. It says, it takes a village to raise a child. When we were growing up then, if you do something, maybe our neighbor beats us, and I go back to my mom crying that my neighbor was beat, my mom will beat me. She will slap me and beat me. And now, so to show you how we grew up, she said, for that neighbor to beat you, for Mama Ijoma to beat you, means you've done something wrong. And she will wind my ear and said, Ishadira means your head is not correct. That is why she beats you. Can we do that in this time now? If someone shout at your child, why are you shouting at my child? Why? Which kind of nonsense is that? We have to go back to our roots. Go back to the root. And so the same thing applies in the organization. It is not only HR and L&D that can show return on investment and return on expectation for training. HR, take note. L&D, take note. Listen to me very well. You cannot be the ones only to show ROI and ROE. It is the village. It's with the training sponsor. It starts with the CEO, senior management, executive management, the HR and L&D, the trainers themselves, the trainees themselves. That's 4 now. 5, the line managers themselves, who are the cocoa. I call them the cocoa. I'm sure you know line managers are of Alpha and Omega. They are the ones giving you wahala. Line managers. Then the last but not the least is the work process. These 6 components must work together for you to see ROI and ROE. And so, as a strategic partner, you co-create solutions with business objectives. They tell you they want leadership training. You ask them questions. Why do you think these people need leadership training? What are your objectives? Before then, you found out what their objectives are. Of course, you already know the objectives of the business. Now and find out HRC. I need you, HR. You have created a divide between line managers and HR. And now when I'm saying HR, I'm not going to be separating it again. HR means L&D, performance money, all of you, where all of you join together so that I will not bite my tongue. If I say HR, wherever all of you are your HR, I'm not going to separate it again. You've created a divide. And that's why when they say HR them, and that's why they call you a cost center. They laugh at you. They say, this one, they don't have any value. Nothing. They are just wasting our money. You come, HR has come again. They brought no. You must intentionally create a bridge to bridge that gap. It's not going to be easy. Yes. It's going to take time. Yes. But what did they say? Little drops of water make an ocean. Start today. That is the charge I'm giving you. Start today to see, how do I create that bridge to be able to move over to the side of the line managers? Move over to the side. How do I create that bridge? What must I do? What must I do? I cannot start. There are so many. Let me just tell you one so I can move on. One thing you must do. You must understand their pain. You must understand their pain. These line managers are very, very busy. They have so many people. Some of they are managing. They have targets, especially the ones in sales. When you're telling them about training, they say, I cannot bring out my people to go for any training. We have targets, 1 billion, 500 million. So they have issues they are facing. You must be able to put yourself in their shoes and know where they are coming from and know how to meet them. Meet them at a point. Show them what is it in for them, what I call the wifing principle. Speak their language. Hey, I wish there was enough time. I will give you examples, deep examples. This one is not theory. These are practical examples that have happened. Let's move ahead. As an order taker, you're tracking attendance sheet. They love the food. They love the venue. The facilitator is good. What nonsense? I'm so sorry. I'm not supposed to use that word again. Sorry, Prof, forgive me. I'm not supposed to use nonsense. But Prof, I'm angry. That's why I'm using nonsense. Oh yeah, Sandra, Oracle, stop it. Not nonsense. But what is that? Can you be talking about they were happy, they like the facilitator, they like the food, 4/5? Is that what will give you returns? Is that what to add to the business? No, now. No. No. You need to be able to do as a strategic partner, measure the business impact of learning. That training you sent them to, what is the impact to the business? What is the impact? You see people, HR, even though you're not in L&D, all this thing is for you because one day they can push you to L&D. Go and learn it. One of the book I give you a charge to buy, it's called The 4 Levels of Evaluation. Kirkpatrick is here. Where's the book? Okay, yes, I've seen it. I want to believe that you also have your this thing. Okay, you may not be able to see it because of, yes, the 4 levels of evaluation, 4 levels of training evaluation by Kirkpatrick. It will tell you how do you evaluate your training. All these things are what we call level 1 and level 2. It cannot change things. What will change things is how the people change their behavior, because behavior begets productivity. Take notes. That is my saying. Behavior begets the right behavior, right? The change in the behavior you want to see. The behavior you want to see, and when you see it, it begets productivity. What is the business impact of your learning? If you want to see transfer effectiveness, you must start by rewriting your identity in your organization. I'm going to tell you what training transfer effectiveness is. I hope I think I should have time to tell you about that. You must start rewriting your identity in your organization. Now, what is your identity? What is your identity? I want you to take 60 seconds. No, 60 seconds is too much. Maybe 30 seconds. And I want you to be honest with yourself. How are you really positioned in your organization today? At least you know what order taker is now. Are you an order taker? Are you a strategic partner? Or are you in transition? Omo, the Oracle. I'm in transition. I'm not even sure. Which one are you? Take 30 seconds. Think about it. And that's why I intentionally gave you the difference between order taker and strategic partner, so you know where you fall. Apply it to what you're doing now. Are you someone that proactively helps show solution? Thank you very much. Honestly, I'm an order taker. Oh. I love you people. Oh, Yemi, what kind of people do you have in this your mentorship group? Are you sure I will not join this your mentorship group? They are so true. They are so, as in, they are not hiding their mouth. They are saying it. They're saying it. Thank you so much. I can see you people writing it. Thank you. Thank you. Comfort say frustrated order taker. Most of the ED will ensure you are order taker. Oh no. Now transition, no. Thank you so much. Thank you for being vulnerable and for saying the truth. Thank you. At least now, what will you want? What do you want? I know it may be difficult. I'm sure during the question, I will take question and answer. And that's why I'm trying to ensure that I have enough time for questions. Whatever question, we are going to try to answer it. If your is crying, I'm another taker. Sorry, Ife. But you can move and become a strategic partner. You can. Ife, I was an order taker. Do you get? I'm being vulnerable with you people too. I was an order taker. And that is why I said I am no more an order taker. Those 3 jobs I turned down didn't mean that I did not want the money. I wanted the money because every month I'm paying bills. I'm paying. If I tell you how much I'm paying salary every month, you will pity me. So I'm paying salaries. I'm paying salaries. So those money, I needed them. But I said, no more. Sandra, the Oracle, no more. I'm no more an order taker. I'm a strategic partner. So if you don't want me to show value to you, don't come near me. And that's what I have continued to do. The ones that want value, they will come. So you can get there. It's just to know how. Little bits. Just gradually. Just gradually. Because I know that there are some environments that will consume, they will put order taker over you. Whether you want it or not, they will give you the cloak of order taker. Oh yeah, carry. But is there something we can do? You know, Stephen Covey says, I love him so much. I read his book, I teach about his book. He says, what we call the circle of consign and circle of influence. Yeah? The circle of consign is you cannot do anything about this. You cannot. You cannot. Anything should happen, heaven and earth should come. You cannot do anything unless you want to resign. But there's something called the circle of influence where you can do something. Have you tried to do something? In the way you can, have you tried? Even the place you can do something, you don't do. So forget that place you cannot do anything. The place you can, there's no how you tell me there's no place you cannot do anything. No, I won't agree. Because even in my own time when I was an employee, even though my hands were in chain like this, I tried to do the little I could. Even though my hands were chained, I could not do anything because of my branch manager, right? So let's move on. When your leadership thinks of HR, forget the L&D. I've said I'm not going to separate you. All of you are together. When your leadership thinks of HR today, do they see you as a partner shaping strategy or as someone waiting to take orders? What do they see you as? You think they don't know? They know. And I'm going to give you if there's time, I'll give you another story. In the webinar I had last week, Wednesday, someone shared this story with us. And what I thought was example. She said, see, this thing you just said is the truth. Let me tell you. Let me share it now. So she said, I was teaching them about being able to move away from being order takers to be strategic partners, no matter how difficult it is, that they would never listen to you. And whenever you go to speak, I was teaching them, I said, speak in the business language. You know, don't go there and speak jargon, speak HR jargon and all that. Let them speak. This was the impact. They did this training. This was the challenge where they are 20% because you'd have gotten that data. Now they are in 50%. There's an increase. They see data doesn't lie. I said data doesn't lie. She now said, excuse me, Oracle, I want to say something. She said, this thing you're saying happened to me. That she will go for management meeting. She said before then, they don't used to call HR for management meeting. Only the sales, the operations people. And when she joined the company, she asked the Oga, why are they not calling us? The Oga said, he doesn't want. She said, let her go. She went. They asked her to give a report. She was now saying, 20 people attended training this month. 50 people were happy. They are looking at her and like, what nonsense are you saying? They shot her. They told her to please sit down. What is that? They asked her, what is that nonsense? She said she was so ashamed that she wanted the ground to open and she would enter. But she said she went back and she asked people, what is it they needed? Her colleagues helped her. So there's something we call strategic alignment. You must build that bridge, because they're the ones that will help you. They're the ones that will help you. They helped her. They told her what to do. So the next time she went for that meeting, she had data. She said, you people wanted sales training. We did a sales training. The people were unable to close deals. They were only closing like 5 deals. Now they are closing 7 deals. As in she was speaking data. Said now, in that meeting, they listened to her. She joins the meeting. It doesn't hide. So where can you start? Start somewhere. Look in the mirror of your organization. Do your position as HR, do you position HR as a driver of business growth or a support service? Please, we are not a support service. We're a driver of business growth. Stop it. We are not a support service. If someone were to describe your role in one sentence today, will it sound like an order taker or strategic partner? I'm sure you already know the answer because all of you have answered it. The last question I want to ask, imagine your CEO is asked who you are in this organization. Will he call you a business partner, or just the person who runs training, or just the person who does what he or she is told to do, or just what would they call you? Sometimes you need to challenge the status quo. Some people are scared. They don't want to lose their jobs, right? Because you have a family, you have children, you have bills to pay. Sometimes you must take the bull with the horns. You want to become, I'm talking out of experience. You want to get to that place, there are things you must do. You must take the bull to the horn. People are different. I'm a risk taker, right? Right? I'm a risk taker. So you may not be me, right? But I'm just telling you, this is who I am. Start somewhere, start small. You may not take the much risk. I take crazy risk. I take crazy risk. you must not be like the oracle. Just take small. Try to be different. Learn. I buy books. You don't understand. Everything I learned, I taught myself. All the certification, I paid it. That I will not eat. My husband told me, all our money in this house is now going to education. When will you stop this education? I said, Oga, cool down. I'm going somewhere. I deprive myself of things. You buy clothes, you buy shoe, I was talking to someone recently, and she told me that she okay, I didn't let me share this. Let me be vulnerable. But this thing will be on YouTube. I don't know if I should be vulnerable and share this too, right? This hair, this wig on my head. Let me tell you how much. Maybe let me be vulnerable because I want to be truthful. This wig on my head, as at 3-4 years ago, it was 345,000 naira. As at now, it's close to 500,000 naira. This wig. There was a time that I cannot try this. Eh? Are they crazy? Wig? Ah, no, stop that. Stop that. Don't try. Which kind of nonsense wig is that? Is it gold? What I'm trying to say is, there are times when you pay your dues. I have paid my dues. If I want to buy wig 500,000, it's not anybody's business. I've paid my dues. There were times where I was books. Oh, you don't understand. I will be doing this Benz. Do your own now. Pay your dues now so that the time will come when you will enjoy. Pay your dues now so that the time will come when you enjoy. I like being very practical. That's why I share this. If not, I will not share it. I want you to understand that I went through it. So if I can go through it and become who I am today, you can do the same thing. I'm not giving you motivational speaking. I don't do motivational talking. I tell you as it is. All these motivational speakers, don't put me among them. I'm not motivating you. You are the one to motivate yourself. I'm not motivating you. I'm telling you what it is. That is what it is. So don't put me in motivational speaker because I'm not one. Let's move ahead. Prof, please be telling me how long I have left. Oh, hey, Prof. So that I don't overshoot my time. We're going to start from the beginning. And the beginning is where I'm going to take you today. You want to be able to stop being an order taker and being a strategic partner? It starts from the beginning. How can HR deliver ROI and ROE? That is what the business is looking. The business is looking for impact. They're looking for impact. They don't want you to tell you. So you don't know some of these managers, they try you. I do it to my staff. I try them to see where they are reasoning. Some want to try you, and you try and you fall into. One of my staff, she asked me something. And I told her, what do you think? She said, I just want to read out, because I tell her, we don't just send out emails like that. Ensure that what you're sending out is well. So now she always wants to read it. I said, don't do that. Oh. You will not grow. Make the mistakes. When you make it, we'll correct you. I said, go and do the email. And when she did it, I saw it and she sent it out. Omo, she made mistake. But because I'd already told her make the mistake, I didn't hit her hard. And I thought, okay, this is what you should have done. Do this. But what do you think next time will happen? Next time she'll be willing to try again, because I allowed her to make mistake. So I check the mistake level, the one that will not cost us so much money. Do you understand? I do that. So sometimes they are trying you people and looking at what you will do. Now let's look at the beginning. Where is the beginning? Where is the beginning? The beginning is here. This is what I want to show you, the beginnings. Now look at this house. Why do you think this building collapsed? Look at this one too. Why do you think this building collapsed? This is why it collapsed. The problem starts when you assume that training is the solution for every performance issue. Foundation. Thank you, Nancy. I didn't wait for you people because I wanted to be a good student to try to move faster. Yes, Nancy, you're correct. Foundation. So the problem starts when you assume. I gave a quote. Assumption is the mother of all mess ups. Those that use the F word, me, I don't use the F word. They'll say it's the mother of all F word. Me, I use the mess up. I change it to mess up. As assumption is the mother of all mess ups. The problem starts when you assume that training is a solution for every performance issue. Training is not the solution of every performance issue. And apart from that, if the assumption is not only enough, then you go ahead and say, when you train, you often focus on only delivery, forgetting before training, which I call pre-training, forgetting post-training, which I call start the training, what now happens? How do you want to see return on investment, return on expectation? Your people will start listening to you when you're showing returns in whatever you're doing. When you're showing value. Returns is impact, let me just tell you. When you're showing impact in what you're doing, in recruitment, you're showing impact. In the employee engagement, maybe you're a performance management specialist, you're showing impact. In employee engagement, maybe that's your role. You're showing in whatever you're doing, are you showing impact? Is there a difference? Can you quantify your impact? So when a lot of people train, they just talk about the delivery. They get a very good person to come and motivate people. After that, they go back. At the end, nothing changes. Everything remains the same. What's the solution? I'm going to give you a real case study. I'm going to be fast with this case study. This happened this year with our client. It is real. I told you I'm giving you real examples. It's our clients. Bridging the gap from train to real world application is a case study. Now, this client was in the creative and commercial. She's in the client is, let me be very careful so I don't give out the name of this. So the client is in the creative and commercial production. Now, why did the engagement begin? I will give the name, the GCL. GCL CEO approached us to train their staff on the following areas. These were the areas. The CEO reached out to us and said they have the documentation practices issues, that their people were not documenting and they lacked SOPs, that they had communication issues, that they were reactive to work. They are not proactive people. They're very reactive. That they had issues, leadership. They are not leading very well. And the last, he said there's no HR management, that we should develop, we should come up with a proposal so I can come and train the staff on these 5 areas. I told her, Madam, we don't do that again. We're not doing that. She said, why? I said, because it's very possible that the problem is not training. I said, it's also possible that the problem is training. And so we need to do a diagnostic approach to find out what exactly the problem is. She now asked, is she going to pay for it? I said, yes, madam, you will pay for it. You're going to pay for it. Said, then if it is training, will they pay? I said, yes, you also pay for it if it is training. But why did the company go ahead with us? Because we were highly recommended. And that's it. Referrals, don't joke with referrals. We're highly recommended. They accepted to do it. And that is why, so I'm giving you one of the models which we developed. I developed this model. It's called the needs validation process model. It's called the MVP model. We use that on the client. See what happened. Now, the model is a four-step model. The first, you do a diagnostic conversation with the trainer sponsor, the training sponsor, the person that is sponsoring the training. Now, in this case, to the CEO. The second stage, you have a diagnostic conversation with those that have been marked for the attendees. These were the employees we're going to talk to. The third stage, we now do a root cause analysis from the data we get from the first stage and the second stage, right? We now do a root cause analysis. Then the fourth stage, based on that root cause analysis, we come up with a needs analysis report. These are the 4 stages we go through. We went through the stage. See what happened. We had that conversation. So I'm summarizing everything. When we had the conversation, this was the problem we got from the CEO. Documentation perceived that was burdensome. There was no standardized way to document work. Communication tools were misused. Staff were overwhelmed with frequent changes. They change today, they change tomorrow. The production team often react instead of planning. We documented everything. We now had a conversation with those that she wanted to go for the training. We had a focus group session. Virtual, all these things were done virtual. And this was what the staff said, the problem they were having. They said that SOP exists, but they hardly use it. It's inconsistently used. That they had a Google Drive, but there was no center protocol. In the Google Drive, this one will have access. This one is here. Many things is here. Nobody can. For you to look for before you get something. You look and look. There's no place. Everything is kept in one place, so it takes you time to find something. Say communication is incomplete or rushed or delayed. Sometimes they want to reach the CEO. They cannot reach the CEO. Everything ends with the CEO. They said yes, they know that they need leadership and mentoring, that they know that they want it. Then they said there's no HR person, that they are the ones doing it. The finance person is doing comp and ben. The head of operations, she's doing leave and vacation leave. Then she's doing employee engagement. So they just shared the HR role amongst themselves. We now did our diagnostic and our third level diagnostic root cause analysis. And this was what we found out. So most times what we find out is the problem is down. Let me use my pointer, my laser. This is where the problem is. But most times this is what organizations do. They are treating the symptoms, what they can see. But why the problem is deep down. So for you to solve the problem, you must dig deeper to find the root cause of all the problems. Stop solving for symptoms, which is what a lot of organizations, a lot of HR do. And this was what we found out when we did the root cause analysis. We found out that the issue was not just a knowledge issue and skill issue, that there were structural issues, there were leadership issues, there were gaps. We also found out that the company's problems stem for unclear roles. Some of the employees, they did not know what they were supposed to do. And so because they did not know what they were supposed to do, before they were able to do what the CEO wanted them to do, time has elapsed. There was no planning. There was nobody, no accountability. As in, everything was just, yeah. So what we found out was that they needed an integrated approach. They needed training, and they also needed some no surprises in your analysis. Sadly, Ngozi. So they needed, it was an integrated approach. So let me show you what we came up with and that we sent to the CEO. This was what we came up with. The report we sent to the CEO. This was our recommendation. We told her what you needed was an integrated intervention approach. Non-training intervention and training intervention. So we found that from everything, for the training intervention, they're going to do a training on communication skills, and they're going to do a training on leadership developments. The non-training intervention documentation system, they should put up their documents. They can even do it by themselves. The next thing was HR management structures. They should get HR. I tell them they can even outsource it. Culture shift from reactive to proactive. This is amongst us. I told the CEO what she needed to do. I said, see, this one, you don't need to bring us in. You can do it yourself because you know your processes. I gave her a guideline. You can do it. You don't even need to bring anybody. You don't even need to bring us in. Now, did I shoot myself on the foot? The woman did this thing by herself. She didn't call us. One of my staff said, Madam, you just made us. We've lost food. I said, but that's the right thing to do. She didn't need us to do her non-training intervention. They can do it because this were sharp. I'm talking of sharp millennials and Gen Zs. They were very sharp. So it was the woman that was pressing their intelligence, very hot, intelligent people, and she was pressing down their intelligence. So that we didn't need that. So you can imagine if we didn't do this, carry out this needs validation report, the woman would have wasted money, would have pocketed the money and would have cleaned our mouth. No oil on our mouth. We clean our mouth very well and go. No more. We don't do that again. Then when things are not working, say, it is the oracle. They are the ones that came to train. No, my name cannot be among those people that trained people and nothing happened. No more. My name is not more. Every time we train you, something must happen. There must be a change, whether you want to change or not. Right? Great. So this ensures both behavioral and structural change. I see someone that wrote structural. Don't worry, I'm wrapping up because I'm wrapping up already. So this was the outcome of the MVP model. The needs validation process model was designed. MVP was validated. Needs validation process proved critical for results. There was validation. There was clarity achieved. Challenges were clearly identified. So there was clarity. There was training objectives matched the business need. There was alignment. There was staff engagement. Employees felt they were involved by asking them what exactly the issues were before we even started anything. And irrelevant training was avoided. It saved cost for them. There was savings for them. And the CEO was happy. So these were the 5 outcomes that came out of using the MVP model. So you can imagine if we hadn't used the MVP model, GCL would have wasted money training the wrong things, which is what so many organizations are doing. Up till now, tomorrow they'll still do the same thing. Next month, next year, they'll still be training for the wrong things. So Nigeria, Africa is not suffering from a lack of training problem. No, that's not our problem. You know what our problem is? We are suffering from a training transfer effectiveness problem. We are suffering from training transfer effectiveness problem. That's what we are suffering from. Suffering from not being able to measure, not being able to evaluate. That is our problem, not training. That's our problem. This is a data on spending. I'm going to be very fast on. You can get it online. 3 billion was spent on training by organizations in the Middle East, in Africa in 2024. This is where it is. Nigeria, we spend 2 to 3 trillions every year. Every year. The organizations in Nigeria for training, 2 to 3 trillions every year. 98 billion was spent on training by organizations in the US. This is where I got this. Go online, you see all the data. Data doesn't lie. So these are data on training spend. So we are wasting money, and the high times we stop wasting it. Stop wasting money. Now think about your last training. How many of your staff applied what they learned on the job? Tell me, how many? How many have consistently applied what they learned on the job? How many? If they did, how do you know? Did they really apply it? You don't even know. And so the reality is that data never lies. The statistics are clear. Very, very clear. No corporate training programs fails to drive real change. Most corporate training programs fails to drive real change. This is what I got information online. Only 12% of employees applied their new skills in training programs. 25% responded that they believe that their training measurable. They believe that their training measurably improved performance. 75% they forget in 6 days. Have you heard of the Herman Ebbinghaus curve? He did a research on memory and retention, and he showed that within 6 days, if people don't apply what they learn, they forget it. It's called the forgetting curve. Go and Google him. You can see it there. You'll get the slides. Go and Google him. A lot of people, so that's what happens. They don't try it. See articles, enough articles. You get the slides. Your leaders, they want proof. Are you giving them the proof they want? Are you showing them the proof? Leaders want evidence. Are you giving them evidence? Are you showing them the evidence? That's the question you should ask yourself. So in today's economies, leaders want proof that training is an investment, not an expense. But your own leaders, they know that they are saying that training is an expense. What is that proof? The proof is ROI and ROE on your training investment. For them to show that the first place is you start with MVP. It's not all performance issues a training issue. Some are cultural, some are systemic, some are process. Start with that first to avoid that one. And I'll show you the last place you can do it again. I've already talked about return on investment. I've already talked about return on expectation. Why are you not seeing return on investment and return on expectation on your training investment? Do you know why? I've told you why. Do you want to know why? It is because you're not showing ROI and ROE. And so as I wrap up, I want to just leave you with this. There's something we call training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness. Now, let me use my pointer again. Training effectiveness is where most of you know. For instance, an organization says, maybe they get a training company and says, I want you to train our staff on customer service. And on the learning objective, one of the learning objectives was that after the training, they should score nothing less than 85%. Second learning objective is that they should be able to practice the greetings. Good morning. My name is Professor Sandra Oluyemi Adeosun. Welcome to Oluyemi Adeosun Limited. How may I help you? They should be able to practice it and use it. And when they're using it, they should have a smile. After the training, they are able to do those two things. You say what? Your objectives has been achieved. That is what training effectiveness is. When the objective, the reason for the training, the learning objectives are achieved, but will that show you ROI and ROE? No, a big no, it will not show you. Training transfer. What is training transfer? I've given you the two objectives, right? One of them, let's take one of them. Now they get back, Yemi gets back to work, or Sandra gets back to work. And within the few days, Sandra is using, good morning. My name is Sandra Adeyemi Oshun. Welcome to Adeyemi Oshun Nigeria Limited. How may I help you? I do it day one. I do it day two. I do it day three. My smile is finished. I say, oh, I'm not doing this thing. Which kind of nonsense? I beg. Good morning, sir. Welcome. How will we help you? Now, training transfer is when the knowledge and skill applied, gotten from training, is applied on the job. That's what training transfer is. You've applied it, but will that give you return on investment, return on expectation? No, because most often people stop on the way. Now, this is where I'm taking you to. And this is what I developed. And this is what I've been going around Africa preaching. Training transfer effectiveness. Now, what is it? It is when training, the knowledge and skills gotten from training is consistently applied and it turns around, behaviors change, it brings about performance, it brings about impact, and there's a structure, in place whereby it will continue to replicate. That is what training transfer effectiveness is. And a lot of organizations stop here. They stop in training effectiveness. Some try, they get to training transfer, whereby there are people who do it for 1 month, they will get tired, or they will do it for 2 months, they will get tired and they will stop. And then you may have not seen ROI and ROE. But training transfer effectiveness is where we are heading to, is where I need you to be. That is the only place you will be able to show your ROI and ROE. And so, just hold on, my system is hanging, okay? Yeah. So from training to impact. So this is a summary of what it is. Training effectiveness measures learning and engagement. Training transfer measures application on the job. Training transfer effectiveness measures sustained performance and business impact. That is where we need to go to. That is where we'll show you ROI and ROE when there's a business impact. This is the costly circle of failed training investments. This is a circle. Pre-training, before training, they don't even bother. Nobody, no alignment with business goal. Expectations are not set. Nothing. During training, get someone that will come and bamboozle them and motivate them in quotes. Post-training, nobody's talking about that. How do we put structures to ensure that people consistently apply what they've learned? Sometimes it is the line managers that stop them from applying it. I know one of my mentees that told me that everything she learned, she went for training and the manager told her, all those things you've learned, keep it there. Come back, let's continue what we have been doing. What is that? Is that not madness? She now told me, what can she do? I said, he's your boss. You've learned, you've gotten it. Listen to him, but know what you've learned. That is you cannot continue that. And now she's no more in the organization. She has moved to another organization. I say, when you move with what you've gotten. So you can see that some are even the problems. So do HR and HR, do you put these structures to ensure that these people are coming back to apply what they learn? You send someone to go for an Excel training. The person comes by, the person is not using Excel. And you think the person will not forget. You send someone to go for advanced I'm just thinking of there's something else again. So different things. Okay, maybe something that person needs a system to work. Like when I was in the banking sector, we don't used to have enough systems to use. You send out on training, and I'm supposed to use system. I don't do it. How do I learn? The tools of work are not available. How do you think the person will apply that? The culture, the climate is toxic. It's stopping the person. No support. Manager is not support. Let's not start today. If I continue to talk, we'll not leave here today. And so, what happens after MVP? This is the second model we created, and this is what we've been using in clients. Pre-training, design everything you want to see in post. This is working tremendously. We are using with clients. Design everything in there are 3 phases of training. Pre-training, during training, and post-training. Everything you want to see post-training, design it in pre-training. Everything, it must be designed before training. Before you even enter the hall, it must be designed. Then you design your second phase, which is during training, which is what a lot of people know is easier for them. Then post-training, you must collect data. Data never lies. If you collect baseline data, so that post-training, when you're evaluating, you measure again and evaluate based on what you've gotten. Maybe pre-training, there was 50%. Post-training, it was 70%. You can see the move from 50 to 70. That's 20%. That's a move. I have clients that have given me that data. I cannot share this now because I've run out of time. So this is working. Are you ready to see ROI and ROE? Then take note of these 2 models. This is now called what we call the pre-training, during training, post-training transfer effectiveness model that will help you to show ROI and ROE for your training investment. Finally, I want to end by saying you can't transform business outcome if you only take orders. If you only take orders, true impact begins when HR dares to lead the conversation. Are you ready to dare to lead the conversation? I remain Sandra the Oracle. I'm known as Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. What will be your next line of action? From everything you've heard me say, what will be your next line of action? Just be thinking, you must write, you must say what your next line of action is. I'm coming to read that. You must say what your next line of action. What will be your next line of action? And I usually say, old ways won't open new doors. Old ways won't open new doors. Doing the same thing the same way won't change it. You have to do it in a different way. If you want to have you want to see a different outcome. Success doesn't come cheap. It comes with hard work. Are you willing to pay the price for success? Me, I'm willing, and I've paid the price, and I'm still paying it. The choice is just now. What will it be? Finally, be happy and feel good about yourself always. And I'm known as, connect with me, I'm a coach, so Sandra Iheanacho, I'm known as the Oracle. I'm Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. That's my mobile number, that's my LinkedIn, that's my company address. You can send me an email. And Prof will allow me to say this. I'm having the first training ever. The first conference ever. It's called the Prof was there because I invited him to the breakfast meeting. I'm having it November 13 and 14 this year at the Lagos Oriental Hotel. It has never been held in Africa, in the world. It's a training strictly on return on investment and return on investment. All these things I've said to you, we're going to go and do it on those 2 days conference. So if you're interested, reach out to Prof, or I will put our email, our company address, go there, register for it, and come for that conference. And on this note, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I hand over to you, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been phenomenal. Of course, I didn't expect anything less. If you don't mind, you can show the flyers, some of the flyers for the conference, so that people can get a view. I've also, for those of us that have been on the call ultra, dropped some of the flyers on the chat, Zoom chat, but if it's not a burden to you, you can just project 1 or 2 of them so that we can keep it on the screen while we take questions, comments, contributions. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like to say something, share your experience or ask a question, we're happy to go through this. Just to also mention that tomorrow we're going to be having another powerful session at 7 p.m. It's understanding the 9-box grid tool and the application in talent management. Block your calendar, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Go for the party, but end with this learning session. Thankfully, based on what the Oracle has done for us today, I'm now going to expect exponential returns on our day-to-day, back-to-back learning and development. I will say, not only are you the Oracle, you're also the catalyst. All right.
Thank you.
Please raise your hands very quickly. I think I will start from Madam Princess, who is a retired civil servant, even though her hands are not up. But you must say something, Madam. Omobla, please say something, if you can hear me. Yeah.
I'm always present. I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Madam Oracle. That was very enlightening. I'm glad that our conversations are going this way, particularly for the HR, practitioners and professionals. I've always been an advocate of, from way back, I started working in Lagos State as a technocrat director way back since 2008. And one of the things that I said to all of them when we started rolling out HR is to see themselves as strategic partners in progress, that they are not support staff. They are strategic partners in progress, wherever they are. That has always been. That's one of the reasons why I'm able to contribute, because we started to rejig their training, their learning. That, you don't just train people. We still talked about training yesterday, as a prof, didn't we? That you just don't start training people. You must first of all have a training need. or a need. You must do a needs analysis or a need, you must be based on that needs. And that's why I didn't say, just for training, because like you rightly said, madam, you talked about, the training could be for the staff, it could be for gaps, it could be for institutional, misalignment. It could be so many things. And if those things
Yes.
are not looked into, you'll never get it right. You'll just be training people and they'll still be doing the wrong things. They'll be coming
Yes.
out with wrong things,
Yes.
what we call key performance, expectations. They will fail on
Yes.
those expectations. It's a new feather that's added to my cap now, which is ROE. I
Yes,
really
ma'am.
don't, I've never really been into that. It's the first I'm hearing of ROE. We're always
Yes, ma'am.
talking about ROIs, but there's now return on expectations, which
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure would really align with key performance expectations as well. And so on my own take, there's nothing that you have said that I would not align with. All I'm going to
Thank you, ma'am.
just add is that people, all of us on this call, on this mentoring, I'm always telling Prof that I learn every day. So don't
Yes.
think that you're out up there, and you
Yeah,
can't learn
it's true.
anymore. And you cannot be effective in this our profession if you don't read.
That's it.
We
That's
must be
it.
voracious. I tell people you cannot be lazy and be in the HR, because we are the engine room of every
Mm,
organization. We are
that's
the
it.
ones who make every organization tick. We are the
Yes.
ones who know everything about everybody.
Yes.
Even things that are not our business. We know about engineering people. We might not know their practical,
Yeah,
but we know we are the ones who will set them in the right direction to be able to perform
exactly.
effectively, to be able to do
Exactly.
all that they need to do. So please, everybody on this call, you cannot afford to, all of this Stephen Covey, right? All of these books that we read, it is important that we ensure that we read all of those. Don't say it's not my line. I'm only an L&D. Oh, I'm only HR. I'm only this thing.
Mm-mm.
HR is all encompassing, and you
That's
never
it.
know where it's going to take you someday, sometimes. So once again,
Yes.
ma, I just want to say a very big thank you. I have
Thank you, ma'am.
learned, unlearned, and relearned, just like we always
Thank
say.
you, ma'am.
And I'm hoping that, I will be able to make, I'm abroad at the minute. I'm not sure I'll be back by November, but definitely if I am back,
There is
I will be
virtual
there,
option.
Sir?
There is virtual option. Virtual option.
Yes, there's
Okay.
virtual.
For
So
people like you,
whichever way I can assure you that I'll be there. So if I'm not there
Thank you,
physically,
ma'am.
I will definitely be there, virtually. And I'm hoping
Thank
that
you, ma'am.
even between both of us, we can carry the conversation. I can learn at your feet, and we can
Yes, ma'am.
exchange ideas and all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you
Thank you.
very much, ma. And my prof, I doff my hat once again for
It's too
always,
much.
thank you, ma.
always, always
Prof
giving
is
us the
too much.
opportunity,
Thank you, ma.
I'm always looking forward to this. Anything that's going to, distract me, I'll tell them I have one. My son said to me, Mom, you're always on webinars. I said, yes, I have to learn. I'm bored. I'm in UK now. I'm not doing anything. Let me be at least one. I know that if I'm not learning anything in one day, I will be on a webinar and learn something. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the platform. God bless you
Thank you,
Thank
all.
ma'am.
you.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
weekend.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
ma.
Okay,
Thank you,
we
ma.
are going to be taking comfort next. Tochukwu, I'd like to put you on the spot. Victoria, if you are okay, if you can speak where you are, also like you to say one or two things. And Uncle K from Ibadan, I would like you to say something. Comfort, you have the floor, my sister.
Yes, thank you so much, Prof. I want to say that I am so excited because this is my first time actually joining any of the webinars that have been posted on the WhatsApp group. And I'll say it's very auspicious for me because I don't know what prompted me to save the link on WhatsApp,
Mm,
put a reminder. I would usually never do this, but I did. And fortunately, I had some time today and I came on this call and I just knew that God is intentional about me because Mrs. Sandra, you've put so much fire in my bones. I am so inspired and I am fired up to do what I need to do. You've just you've shared so much insight. Your passion is infectious, and I lack the words to say because working in HR for close to 9, 10 years, doing the same routine job over and over again, at a point, there is nothing you can do but just, you just become a robot basically, because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And you keep telling yourself that there's so much in you that you're supposed to do, but because the platform is not there for you, the resources are not there for you to, or basically leadership just does not give you that platform, so it affects everything, even down to what you learn. If you recall, I said in the chat that I am a frustrated order taker. And that is not born from a place of I don't want to take directions. But I feel like I have learned so much, and it is time that, I lead these conversations. But because the opportunity is not there to do so, you get so frustrated, you become docile, you become unmotivated. It shows in your work. And so basically, this is not me complaining, but to say that I
No.
really, really appreciate this session. Like, you don't know how much this means to me and how much you've inspired me tonight to take the bull by the horn. Now I know what my direction is, because clearly this is actually, God ordained for me. Sorry to be so religious and all that.
No, it's
Um
okay.
and then to my question, I know you said something about certain things that are not trainable. Um with my experience, I realized that no matter how much we change the vision and mission of an organization, and no matter how much you give people, have brown bag sessions to say this is our new culture, this is what we, if it is not exemplified in especially line managers, and if line managers cannot trickle this down or even exemplify it, I don't think that there is any amount of training or sessions that you have to reiterate and say this over and over again. So my question is, Ma, from your experience, do you think that culture is trainable? Over.
Thank you so much. Comfort, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're not being religious. That's what it is. I don't make an excuse. I'm a Christian. And Prof knows now. So we don't make an excuse. You're a Christians, right? We just say what it is. And what I want to say to you is there's something called culture and climate. They are two different things. Now, culture is the way we do things, is how you do things, right? In the organization. This is in our performance appraisal, this is how we do, this is how we do performance management. That is what culture is. Now, what is climate? People do not resign because of culture. They resign most often because of climate. Climate is how the line manager makes his department. You can have an organization that has a wonderful culture, very wonderful culture. People are happy coming to work. People are excited. But the climate in that department is toxic. That people resign. Haven't you seen some people that say, Oga, if you leave this organization today, I will follow you. So they are in that organization not even because of the culture. It is because of the line manager, their manager. Now, because a lot of people resign not because of the business, they resign because of their manager. Because it is the manager, they work hand in hand in. Now, what should happen now? The onion balls on management. Having that, I was doing an MC. Prof, you were there now, the LDNI. We had 3 days conference. We finished yesterday. I was the MC, one of the MCs. One of the speakers came to say, he said something. He said, how an organization will be starts from the top. Starts from management, the CEO. He was speaking on CEO, grooming CEOs. And that's the truth. If the CEO and MD stand on it and say, all line managers, you will do this, they have no choice. They will do it. But most often what happens, CEOs look away. Either those line managers are the ones bringing in the results, bringing the blind eyes. You see a manager that is causing toxicity. I'm an example. Now, let me be vulnerable again. When I was working in the banking sector, I will not say which of it doesn't matter if I say the bank. I usually cry on Sunday. I cry. I'm not lying. Heaven can bear me witness. I cry before going to work Monday because I hated going to work. When I was unhappy. My line manager was a beast of body. My line manager was toxic. But my husband wasn't working then. And we had 2 children then. Now I have 5. We had 2 children then. And so, but I had to, so we needed the money. And so on Friday, I'll be so happy I'm going home. Sunday, I will start crying. A married woman crying. Those that work in the banking sector will understand. NPR, they will deal with you and insult you, finish your life. It is management. And so CEOs, and that's why when I teach leadership in LBS, I finish them. I said, CEOs, you must change the narratives. You must do the right thing, because you're the ones that dictate how your business will be. So we'll talk more of climate, not the because sometimes the culture may be bad, but even though the culture is bad, the climate in that department, they are happy working because of that manager, because the manager is making them happy, ensuring, giving them what they need, helping them in their work, and so they don't even care. But maybe the manager leaves, they go with him. So that's when the culture is bad, but the climate is okay. So most times when we talk to leaders, when I teach in leadership in LBS, I tell them, how is the climate of your organization? How is the climate? I don't know if that answers your question, if that helps you.
Yes, it does so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we quickly take Tochukwu, then we take Grace, then we come back to Madam Princess. Tochukwu, you have the floor, my brother.
Thank you
Tochukwu is
very much, Prof.
from
And
Abuja.
Madam Sandra, thank you. God bless you. Like, listening to you has been mind-blowing. Me as a trainer in particular, I had to ask myself a couple of questions, and I've already penned down line of action from this conversation I will carry to my next regional meeting to spark this conversation in my organization at the regional level, so we can begin to look in that direction. Thanks a lot. So one thing I want to ask is, basically, I feel the passion with which you share this, and I'm looking like, oh, I would love to attend this conference. And Prof shared the flyer very briefly, and I noticed that you had discounts at different stages and time that so far has expired. For example, the 100,000 discount that expired, I think, sometime in.
On behalf of the Oracle, take the discount. Just tell her, Oluyemi Adeosun or HR mentorship, take it, put it in the narration.
Yeah.
They will get your money.
Yes, I'm just saying whether you give us, open that discount for us specifically.
I open it
platform.
as the friend of the Oracle. I open it as the friend of the Oracle. But we are paid by tomorrow. Don't delay.
Yes, boss.
Yeah.
Signing up immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
All right, we take Grace quickly. Grace OBK, you have the floor.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity to join in this webinar. Work has been very tedious this time around. Sometimes I lose the opportunity to join the webinar because either I'm on my way home or one thing or the other is taking my time. But quickly, let me move to my question. Honestly, I don't know. Some of us in HR, we need serious, how will I put it? We need serious rescue from these other people. So let me share one of my experience, latest one. So we have our sales managers, our sales team. After this training list analysis and performance evaluation, it was obvious that our sales team, they needed training on some certain things, on some certain aspects of our sales, especially in marketing, because they are claiming they are marketers or they are doing marketing. Meanwhile, when you evaluate their performance, you find out that they are not doing any marketing. So we wanted to, to divide the department, bring in marketers, and then they remain as sales people. But because they have been in the system for a long time, they fought that thing until the CEO dropped that idea. So now we scheduled training for them. This same set of people refused to attend the training, claiming that they don't need any training again, that they have all the takes, to make the business viable and a lot of things. And thinking that my MD will come to my rescue to, at least to order them to attend the training. Honestly, he left me and them. We battled it until I got frustrated and I allowed them. today, up to today, that training, they didn't go for that training, and things suppose, just like you mentioned, if we continue to repeat the old system, we can't envisage any new thing or any breakthrough. So I've tried to consult some people to ask how I'm going to tackle this, but they only point down to my MD that if he can stand, with me to order them to go for that training or do everything that he scheduled for them to do, so that things can turn around quickly as we needed. But since he's dilly-dallying, or sometimes we even, at some point, I recommended that we should sack them. Almost everyone
You're looking for
wanted to
trouble.
fall, because honestly, so this time my MD went back to tell them that this was my recommendation. Honestly, I in fact,
They
up
will
to
finish you.
honestly, up to date, I'm just managing myself there. I'm quietly looking for a way out. Because if my MD can be breaking confidential talks like that, after a strategic meeting, we go back to you, even during management meetings, he will say, great, you recommended this, great, you recommended this. I'm not keep quiet. And let's plan this thing and see things turn around. So honestly, I'm just in a case, just waiting for rescue. Please, what would you suggest in that kind of situation? I appreciate your training and the webinar, and I look
Thank
forward
you
to
so
more.
much. Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you for being very vulnerable. Now, this is a dicey thing. And I think you would have read your MD very well. Maybe you said you told him that he should sack this. I just knew what you say. And what you've done now, you put fire on the mountain. Anything they can do to discredit you and deal with you, they will do that.
Yeah.
They will do it. They will even start planning landmines for you. So you even need to be very careful so you don't step on some landmine that will blow up your leg, that will blow you up. So you've just brought out yourself in the open. Now you need to now be strategic to know what to do, because you've brought out your, and the MD went to tell them that you told them to sack them. Hey, Grace, you don't enter one chance. Serious one chance you've entered. Because now they already dislike you. They're already disliking you. So you told them to sack us. And they'll be telling you, they did not sack, he did not sack us.
Exactly.
he did not sack us. So it's now, how do you build this bridge? It's gonna be very shaky. It's already a messy bridge. But the first things first is, you cannot cry more than the bereaved. That's what I tell people. You cannot cry more than the bereaved. The MD, the owner of the company, is he seeing the challenges in his business? Doesn't he want this business to grow? These are the conversations you should have with him, because I believe you're the HR, and that's why the conversations with him. Ask him, be truthful to him, be courageous. Ask him, sir, what do you want from this your business? That conversation one-on-one with him, and from there, then you now decide what to do. If he wants his business to collapse, then help him to allow the business to collapse. Of course, you're already planning your exit. Because how can someone you spoke with confidential as HR, he will go and now tell them what you said? So what is he trying to bring? He has brought enmity between you and there's nothing. It will be so difficult to bring them back, because they already hate you that you wanted to sack them where they used to feed their family. So the first thing I'll tell you, go and have a heart-to-heart talk with your MD. That's the first step. Whatever conversations you have from then will not know what next step to take. Whatever you have truth with him. Sir, what do you want from your company? What is your plan? What do you want? So that's what I'll tell you to do. That's the first thing you need to do. I don't know if that helps you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We'll take the last contribution from Madam Princess Omoba and closing from the Oracle.
Thank you, sir. I'll try to answer the lady who asked about the culture of an organization and how they can, work their way around it, and Madam Grace that just, told her story last. So for me, like Madam Oracle said, culture might not be, you might not be able to change culture. For example, I was in the Lagos state government. I cannot change the culture of the public service. It's near impossible. They have a culture, they have the way they have been doing it from 19th World. It might be very difficult. However, everywhere that I have worked, I have been able to change the climate. I have been able to
That's it.
ensure that my style of leadership, my style of, working, my style of interacting with all of them
That's it.
is one that brings a very, very harmonious
That's
environment.
it.
And
That's
everyone
it.
is always saying they want to come and work in my department when I was still a director. By the time I
That's
became
it.
a permanent secretary, all of the ministry that I worked in, up till now, I have retired 3 years ago. Up till now, they're still telling me that, Madam, when you retired, you removed everything that was good. You took it along with you because I changed the culture and orientation. I changed the
That's it.
climate and orientation of the
That's
culture
it.
is still the same. And one of them was telling me that, we've reverted back to our old style because this culture hasn't changed. I was only there
That's
to
it.
change the climate. And so you might find yourself working. For me, it was a very big change, climate change and culture shock, because I came from the UK public service to go into Nigerian public service. So you can imagine, but because of the kind of training we've had, as HR personnel, you are meant to be very tactical, very diplomatic.
That's
Your
that's it.
emotional intelligence must be on point. You must be able to scope your environment so that you can align yourself without aligning into what they're doing. You will
That's it.
align yourself to that culture and that climate, but you are not going to align yourself with the bad habits that they have. It would only
That's
help
it.
you to understand them and then be able to know how you will then start placing the things that you want. You understand?
That's
So,
it.
for example, now, Madam Grace, the environment, the scenario you place, I like to believe that in a lot of times is very medium or small size organization. That's the one that everybody knows
Yeah.
what everybody's saying. The MD talks
Yeah.
to the other staff and this and that.
Yeah.
And whether you like, most of them is like they came into that organization by personal touch with the MD. It's not your normal recruitment. So a lot of them had aligned with themselves. So the MD would just be talking to them like, they are friends and all of that. Anything you say, do you hear what your HR said? She just reported you. That I should sack all of you. And you can imagine, even if the MD is saying it as if he wants to make them, be up and doing, they will then take it to the other, say, hey, you this HR girl. It's okay. We'll deal with you. Do you understand? So with such things, you are not going to, it's a learning curve for you. When you see things like that, don't tell, because you don't know how everybody came in
Exactly.
together into that
Yes.
organization. You don't know whether the person you say they should sack is the MD's son-in-law who is related to their brother, uncles, aunties, or something. You don't know the story. So as an HR practitioner, you must be very tactful. You must be very diplomatic. You must
That's
have a
it.
lot of emotional intelligence in dealing with all the things that you need to do. You must look well before you leap. And if you look too long, you may never leap and you want to leap. So don't look too long, but look well so that you can leap. And so I would say, next time you just try to, like Madam Oracle said, try to, have a chat with the MD and say, let them see that you are bringing value to the table. Tell them, MD, I really don't know what, we're trying to achieve in this organization, but this is my vision for this organization. This is where I want us to go. And then use some organizations that you can benchmark. And that's why research is very important. When you are an HR practitioner, you must research. You must know those people who do the type of work that you also do or the services that you render in your own organization, the ones that are doing very well. Look at what they're doing, look at how they're achieving it, and bring that to the statistics. It's very important. Bring those stats to the table and say, organization so and so and so and so. This is what they're doing. I have gone there to go and look at this. And I know that we can also do it here. We can get there. Do you understand? And these are some of the things that will not allow us to get there. These are the things that we can do so that we can get there. Let them start seeing the value that you are bringing rather than getting frustrated And you know, one of the things as HR practitioners, know when to, we tell, it's part of our CIPM creed, know when to say, this is it. So don't be shy. Don't be, you know, I mean, I always use wisdom, you know that you don't want to leave a job and become unemployed, but know that, okay, you know, this is where I'm going to draw the line. Let me start looking.
Make your plans.
Let me
That's
start
it.
making my exit plan. Let me start doing this. Because if you don't know, you'll just be pushed and you get frustrated. And at the end of the day, you'll be so, you know, disorientated and upset that you won't even have the energy to be looking for a good job anymore. In fact, they would have killed your morale. They would have killed the things that you thought you knew how to do. Everybody will tear you down. And you say, you start, you know, you have start,
low
you know,
self-esteem.
your confidence. You'll now be asking yourself, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe you start second guessing yourself. So you need to be very brave as HR practitioners. And this is to everybody. You must be brave to have very, very difficult conversations. That's a training on its own. You understand? Being able to have very difficult conversations with your C-suite, your, you know, leaders and top people. There are ways that you can also do that. So these are all the things that I would advise or suggest that, you know, that you should start looking at. And don't get frustrated. Do your bits. Try to get, you know, what you can and have conversations, no matter how difficult they are. You understand? Yoruba people will say, it means that, you know what? You would only say it and whatever happens, let it happen. It might be you say it and they say you go. But the thing is that sometimes when one door closes, if one door doesn't close, another one might not open. Do you understand? So this is a way for you to just know how to, you know, plan, you know, how you're going to navigate yourselves and all of that. And with all of this webinar that you come to, the lady who had never been to one, I would say, please just put it in your WhatsApp notification every time. That between, sometimes we have it at 7, sometimes at 7:30, mostly. You know, very rarely we have it at 8 o'clock. So 7 or 7:30, almost every day, almost every evening, we have this thing. You will learn one thing or the other that will help you in your journey as HR practitioners and professionals. Thank you very much. Thank you, my professor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oracle, it's grace that is remaining. Just the grace. Any final comments?
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone, especially Madam that just finished speaking. I hope you've even given her opportunity to speak on one of these webinars. She's just awesome. She has so much things to give. And to everyone that came for the webinar, thank you so much. And I just want to give you this charge. The charge I'm giving you is you can be better than you are. Take it from me. You can be the better and be the best you are. Don't give up. Learn. I said I'm a self-taught HR. Nobody taught me HR. I taught myself HR. And you can imagine where I am now at and L&D. So I want to encourage you. Don't give up. Be the best you can. Read. Know. Ask questions. Just be the best you are. And that's what I want to say. And I just want to say again, everyone join me to thank your prof. He's an awesome person, wonderful man, wonderful. You don't understand when I'm saying wonderful. I'm sure people will not understand. Me and him, we've done some things. So that's why I say I understand. He gives without thinking. You know, there's some people that will think before they give. This one gives without thinking. And just join me to appreciate him for everything he has been doing. For you, you don't know the value people are getting, those in HR mentorship. To pull up these people, to bring us all the people he brings, the valuable people he brings. No. You know what it costs, but he does it. So thank you so much, Prof. I sincerely appreciate you. And thank you for bringing me here. Thank you. And good night, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much, Madam Sandra Iheanacho, the Oracle. Ladies and gentlemen, at this intersection, let us verbalize our appreciation. Let us unmute and appreciate her. Thank you so much.
Hello, madam.
Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you very much, ma. God bless
Really
you.
learned.
Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
ma. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Omoba.
Thank
you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We are grateful.
Thank you
We
so
leave our
much. We appreciate you.